This is the DinoPod.
Hello, I've been forced to introduce this week's episode of the DinoPod. My phone is on silent, so don't say anything.
You're like the irritating person in the cinema.
Excuse me. Oh, my granddad is out of the hospital. Yay! My mom just sent me the text.
That was okay. So at least we start this week with some positive news. That's brilliant. Yeah, that's very good. Very good news. That's awesome.
He was sick of being in the hospital.
He was sick, and he was sick of being in hospital.
Yes.
Being in a hospital is very annoying.
I've never been in the hospital. That's a lie.
For personal reasons, I've never been in. Well, I've never had to stay. When I was really young.
You've been in the hospital as a visitor.
Yeah, as a visitor.
Rather than
and I kind of lived there for like months, and that was not fun. Anyway, you started off really happy, and now you can go down the depressing route. We're trying to keep everything happy. So yeah, introduce this week. What are we doing?
We are talking about our hobbies / hobbies in general / hobbies.
Okay, let me try and sell this a little bit more. So we're looking in terms of obscure hobbies. So things that aren't often... how can I explain? So people have hobbies. People have varying hobbies around the world from... I don't know, a popular hobby is video gaming, watching movies, TV.
Yes.
That's a very common hobby. If you say... Oh, I like watching movies. That's something you could put on your Tinder profile, and 90% of people will say, "Oh, okay, that's fine."
Sure.
I don't know what's on yours, Rita.
I don't have a Tinder profile.
That's what she says publicly.
I really don't have a Tinder profile. I never even gotten Tinder, just like as a joke to check it out.
It's funny.
If you say so, but no, I've never.
If you go there as like a gay or a bisexual guy, if you go there as a gay or bisexual guy, a lot of them are just people like really just thirsty men, and it's not even interesting.
Isn't that just Tinder? Period.
Well, it's
thirsty men
and slutty women.
And slutty women. We shouldn't slut shame people.
I don't care. I don't care about anything.
It's their body is their prerogative.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever you. Like I always say, if it's between two consenting adults, they can do what the fuck they like, as long as it's legal.
I mean, it doesn't have to be two. It's just between consenting adults.
It could be between whatever you do in the privacy of your own room, and as long as it's all consenting and you're all of age, do what the fuck you like. No one cares.
To be consenting, you have to be of age.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. What Rita said. Rita's right.
Exactly. I'm always right, except when I'm wrong, which is never.
Yeah, but you wouldn't know if you were wrong until you were wrong.
No, because I would never be wrong.
Yeah, but that's wrong because you are sometimes wrong.
Give me an example. Right here, right now, give me an example.
The fact that you said your phone is on silent.
And my phone is on silent.
It made a noise.
That's because the vibration's against the table.
Which makes sound wave.
The phone itself is on silent, so I am right.
No.
Yes.
It's on the silent setting.
It's on silent.
I'm judging you, Rita.
It's on silent. I am technically right.
Anyway, we're just this week we're discussing obscure hobbies. So things like watching movies, TV shows. Video games are kind of a tricky one because it's no, as in if you think about video gaming, like if you say you think about stuff like if you were on a date with someone and you said I'm a gamer, you know exactly you kind of have an idea of what they could be if they say I'm a gamer. you think of some guy who's sat in his basement playing World of
No,
Warcraft.
not anymore. I think that's completely outdated because gaming has become so mainstream.
Yeah, kind of. Because I put in perspective. So when I watch some like American news shows and stuff like that, whenever they bring up gaming, it's always like, these dang kids playing those video games in the basement.
That's because America is completely crazy about video games. They blame everything on video games.
That is true.
Which is ridiculous because there's literally
but there is
nothing to do with anything.
There is at least a stigma. There's more of a stigma. If you said to someone, you're more likely to get stigma from saying, "Oh, I sit there, I watch, I don't know, I play video games for 2 hours a night, or I watch a movie for 2 hours a night." You're more likely to people to judge you for video games.
I don't think so. I don't think. Maybe 10 years ago, right? I don't think so anymore.
Depends on the generation.
Yeah, I guess because it become. Yeah, I mean, if you know what if you like understand what games are now, which some people, older people, don't understand. I think. I think there's a stigma about it because it becomes so like mainstream.
It's a generational.
So
it's a generational thing. So if you have someone,
I mean, my granddad could not understand what a video game is.
Yeah. So if you had someone who's like 30 plus, you start to get more and more like.
I don't think so. Like I would say like 50 plus. Because 30 people like who are 30 something, they grew up in the 80s, so they've grown up with like the NES, SNES.
If they're in the 30s, no, they grew up in the 90s.
No.
Yeah, because the 80s was 40 years ago.
Oh my god, yes.
You literally remind me of that video we just watched, the Black Friday dude. Like, 4 plus 6 is 9,500.
Oh god, yeah.
You've turned into...
Still, I would say, okay, 40
Rita,
plus.
you're going to be camped outside a Black Friday event.
I would say 40 plus then, rather than 30 plus.
So... I think it's.
I mean, if you look at like, YouTubers like who are.
Yeah, but YouTubers,
especially who do like retro games, they're in their 30s. They're not younger than that.
True, but they're not the demographic. Whenever you look at people who tend to play video games most, it tends to be. Honestly, it's if you say I'm a gamer, you could have like women play more games than men, statistically. That's because a lot of women don't look at themselves like when they're like in their 40s or 50s. I think
they're like less picky. Well, not less picky, less snobbish about like games.
Well, I wouldn't even say that. I think that it's more of a case of if you ask a 50-year-old woman, "Are you a gamer?" She'll say she might say no. Say, "What have you got on your phone?" "Oh, I've got Candy Crush. I've got I've got all these mobile games." So like, you do know that it class you as a gamer,
it's a game.
and then you go, "Oh, okay." But I'm not a gamer because there's a stigma to it.
I guess.
Whereas if you say, "Oh, I'm a movie buff," "Oh, that's cool. What's your favourite movie?" And then everyone of all generations has a movie.
Well, then you have to change the name then. What would be the equivalence of a gamer for movies? A mover?
A mover?
A movier?
No, just be like a movie buff, a movie enthusiast.
Why can't I be a game buff then? A games buff.
You can.
Game enthusiast, not gamer.
You can be, but there's still a stigma to it.
I don't know, if you say something, I'm a gaming enthusiast rather than a gamer, I think they'll have a different reaction.
Yeah, but I think there's a definite narrative whenever you're proud to say, people are going to be more proud to say, "Oh, I'm a movie buff," because I could tell you the actors, I can tell you the movie when it came out, and I'm of all these things. And if someone's in the 90s, if there's someone who's in the 90 years old, they have a favourite movie, but they don't have a favourite video game more than likely. Apart from this one woman in America who's like, I think she's like 70 or 80. She's like a hardcore World of Warcraft player, and she's like got a 70-inch TV in front of her, and she raids and does everything. She's like, that's me in many years. But anyway, so I think it's a generational thing. So what I'm trying to get at is you've got hobbies that you have things like gaming, movie watching. If you say, for example, "Oh, I'm a musician. Oh, I play a guitar. Oh, I play, saxophone or something like that." It's an obscure hobby, but it makes you cool.
I mean,
if you have a guy,
depends on the instrument.
Okay, you turn up with a guitar.
Nobody likes guitar people anymore, right? They're kind of like the annoying ones who immediately start playing Wonderwall and nothing else.
You haven't been to a British party, have you? If you turn up with a guitar and you don't play Wonderwall, everyone hates you.
Wouldn't they be overplayed? So
what ends up happening is, and I've been there because it happened in my bloody house. So my brothers had a party and I have a guitar.
Why do you have a guitar?
Because my cousin had a guitar. He tried to learn it, didn't learn it, put it in the loft, and I got it because it was cool and trendy to have a guitar on your wall. Never learned how to play it, so it was taken because it's trendy. It looked cool. You know that I tried to make things look trendy and cool.
If you say so.
Yeah, I'm sitting there with a stripy weird shirt and waistcoat that looks like
green and purple do not go together. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I like it because it's weird.
If you say so.
Your shirt makes you look like a lumberjack.
Thank you.
And red doesn't work.
Yes, they do.
Bitch.
You're doing it wrong.
Don't judge me. Rita, show me how you do it then.
What? Is that it?
I don't know. You're some sort of fucking expert.
Apparently. I'm very good at snapping fingers in the sassy way. No, you're doing one too many.
Anyway. Trying to come like the next sassy bitch.
I mean, you're already halfway there.
How am I halfway there?
Because you're bi.
What is a prerequisite to being a sassy bitch? You have to be kind of gay.
Aren't
are you just presuming that every sassy bitch is gay?
Yeah.
Rita, I'm offended.
You'd be half offended.
Can we get back on track?
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Because you're digging yourself a hole here this week.
What? By making fun of stereotypes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I like it. Anyway, so so it's more of the case of when you have hobbies like watching movies and so on, or like playing guitar and so on, they have a certain there's a certain way of looking at it, like societally, like people will, if you say you're a movie buff, everyone accepts it. Everyone knows what you kind of do. If you say, I can play guitar, everyone thinks you're cool.
Debatable.
Yeah, it is debatable, but you're more like if.
And do people think Ed Sheeran is cool?
Yes, very.
Not really.
Yes, everyone. Ed Sheeran.
I don't think anyone will describe Ed Sheeran as cool.
He looks like a proper nerd.
Again, I don't think anyone would describe Ed Sheeran as cool.
He looks like a proper nerd. Yes.
Okay.
Nerdy people are the best.
I guess.
Okay,
are they cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Nerdy people are cool. Okay, I'm completely biased in this, and I can't have an objective opinion.
You're not cool, Mitchell. You're nerdy. You're not cool. You're not a cool person.
My purple and green shirt begs to differ, okay?
Your green and the purple shirt add to my point.
Am I tragically cool?
No.
You
wear bow ties often as well.
Yes, bow ties are cool.
No, they're not.
The doctor said it for 3 years.
No.
Two doctors have worn bow ties, and both of them are the best doctors ever.
Which one? Wait, is the fourth doctor one of them?
No,
that's the scarf one, right?
Yes. And that scarf is cool.
No, Matt Smith had a bow tie.
Yes.
I don't know the other one.
Patrick Troughton, the second doctor.
Same. Okay.
So Patrick Troughton's my very favourite. So this is one of my hobbies, if you haven't told. Doctor Who's literally my passion.
Doctor Who was probably a popular hobby in the UK, I would guess.
It was.
Well, I guess.
It was kind of the biggest TV show of like a generation. multiple generations actually.
Well, yeah. It's been going on since the 60s.
So it started in 1963. So 2 days ago, as of this recording,
this is the same age as my mom. 58.
Rita?
Yes.
How can you do that maths that quickly, and yet you can't do basic maths?
What do you mean? I can't do basic maths.
Let me just refer to the
40s. Okay, I got wrong the 80s technically, but if it's 89, it's 30 something rather than 4 years, so it's technically not wrong.
Anyone born 30 to 39?
Yes.
The earliest they could be born at this point is 1992.
No.
Yes.
No. If they're 30... So if they're 30 years old...
Sorry, the latest they can be born is... We're both shit at maths.
Wait, so 21. So 3... Okay, so if you were born in 1991...
let's make it simple. Just say 2020, because that's easy maths.
No, if it's 2021, if you were born... If you're 30 in 2021, you were born in 91.
Yep.
So 91... So
minus
if you're
10,
31 up, you could be... No, if you're 33 up, you could have been born in the 80s. You were born in the 80s.
Yeah, but didn't live through the 80s.
Well, depends. You could be... If you're 39, you live for 5 years in the 80s.
Yeah, but that's the same people born in
And depending on where you were born, you probably grew up with technology. They're a decade behind.
It's like those people who were born in 1999 and they say I'm from the 90s. I'm like, no, it's just
we're barely from the 90s.
I'm just like, you are only saying that because you're saying you're from the 2000s and makes you sound like an idiot because the 90s was so good.
I don't get the 90s. I don't like the 90s music.
90s music was fucking amazing.
I don't know.
The clothes were ridiculous. The music was great. The cars were phenomenal.
The 90s don't appeal to me as they do to everyone else.
Politically, we're a bit fucked, but at least you can buy a house.
Well, depending on where you live.
Anywhere. Because you can't buy a house anywhere now, but you could buy them in the 90s.
Well, depending on what you earned.
Anything more than £5, and you could have probably somehow...
What was the minimum wage then?
I don't know.
I would say less than £5, probably.
Let's find out. Let's find out.
What does this have to do with hobbies?
Because we keep getting distracted, but
I can't blame you. It's all your fault.
I'm really curious. What was minimum... Did they have minimum wage in the 90s?
I don't know. Probably.
Minimum wage. I put 1990. UK minimum wage in numbers. A key policy in 1997.
Yes.
So 1999. What it says, adult rate was £3.60 an hour.
There you go.
And then went into 2012, which was £6.19 an hour.
And it's going to be 9 point something next year, isn't it? I think they're
it's already started.
It's already...
Yes, I think it's £9.51 an hour if you're over the age of 25. But that £3.60, I don't know if that was... Because minimum wage goes up depending on your age. The less you were...
Which is kind of ridiculous in a way. In a way. I understand it, but I also... I think their
policy is... I think their policy is you're more likely to employ someone younger to get them experience if you can pay them less. I think that's what
teenagers are terrible.
You sound like you're 70, Rita.
I mean, the ones that I've worked with are mostly terrible. I would say 90%. Fine, 80%.
Rita, do you want to put numbers to this? We've found out by this podcast within 20 minutes we're both shit at maths.
Exactly, so they can't take my word for it.
Anyway, so where I was getting at was you've obviously got so you've got hobbies that just kind of vary. So
I do have
depend
hobbies,
on social stigma and social. I don't know how to describe it. But there are certain hobbies that if you have, you're more likely to be cool and trendy, and you know where I'm getting at.
Well, mainstream. Popular culture changes over time. So yes. 10 years ago, being nerdy and shit was probably not seen as cool, but you probably get bullied for it. Nowadays, with the Marvel movies and DC,
but that's
liking comics and superheroes is more accepted, and I'm using quotes,
but
air quotes.
The difficulty with those, with that is, it's not that. I don't think nowadays, if you're into Marvel movies and superheroes, makes you a nerd.
Exactly, because now it's just popular culture.
So,
rather than being something that just the nerds or the geeks would know, because they're mainly comics.
So the more people movies. The more that something is adopted,
So you could say, the more something is popular, the more accepted by everyone else it is.
And whenever something's really popular, but sometimes when something is really popular, and there's a lot of stigma still attached to it, that's called being prejudiced.
Sure. And then the popular thing hits a ceiling and everyone hates it, which was what happened with disco.
With?
Disco.
Disco,
the music genre. It was very, very, very popular. But then, because it was often...
Because it was the end of the 90s, everyone stopped getting on acid, it all just dropped.
What do you mean the 90s? Disco's 70s. Mm-hmm. But because it was also often connected
I was thinking of house.
Gay communities and black communities, white people were like, wait a minute, we cannot let this be popular. So they started burning the disco records in like stadiums and shit.
Do you know what else didn't help?
One podcast, What's Wrong About?
They're
very good. They did something about this, I think.
Do you know what else killed disco music?
Disco was great. I love disco.
What killed disco music was a synthesizer. Was it? Yeah, because during the 80s, when anyone could make music via a synthesizer with like electronically manipulated music, it took over.
I guess. I don't think that's maybe.
Okay, that's the question. In what era would you go back to? So if you could go back to an era and live there, as in you go there and you're there, you're not coming, you go to that year and you go back.
You're wrong about, they did an episode about disco. You should listen to it. They're very good. They're two journalists. They're very, very good. Oh God, no, stop.
What's it called? Oh, I've seen.
You're wrong about,
yeah. You showed me that.
Disco Demolition Night. They talk about it. They do very good research.
Do they do conspiracy theories as well?
I think they've done like, would you call Satanism a conspiracy theory?
I think it's culturally accepted that it's true.
What, Satanism?
Yes.
At
the same time as like...
No, they mean like the satanic panic of like the 90s of we're giving your babies, you're sacrificing your babies to Satan type stuff, not the
or when it's
recent Satanism of the... Well, there's two. There's a Church of Satan. There's a satanic panic.
Or whenever you see those places... Do you know those videos where they go to like abandoned places and then like draw like a satanic cross and then they put a chair in the middle? Have you ever seen those videos?
No.
Well, what they do is they go to like abandoned buildings and these mainly kids go there and draw like a satanic cross on the middle of the floor, put like child's dolls around the middle, put a chair in there.
Sounds fun.
And they apparently are the new satanic cult going around doing blah blah blah. So
I don't know, maybe.
No,
so, they basically like look back at like historic moments of like pop culture and they like re-examine it. And also, like...
That sounds good.
Take some stuff that you're wrong about. Or you remember wrong. Stuff like that. They're actually very good. They've done, like, the Princess Diana. They've done the O.J. Simpson case. Satanic Panic. They've done They've done a bunch of stuff. I quite like them.
Did I ever? I started listening to the OJ one.
Yes.
Anyway, I was that'd be a good thing.
Listening to podcasts, also a hobby.
For fuck's sake, Rita! I was just that was going to be a perfect segue. I was putting my phone ready to do. You've taken my segue.
I'm sorry.
And now you fucking run with it. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go on, Rita. Now you've taken it over. Explain. So, podcasting. 10 years ago, you would have been weird for sitting there talking.
10 years ago, I wouldn't know what a fucking podcast was.
I did.
I didn't. I don't think podcasts...
think
podcasts arrived to Portugal till like 5 years ago, I would say.
I've always been a very early adopter on things. To my detriment sometimes. Like I say, my Steam account is like...
Where's your Bitcoin fortune then?
That's what I say, to my detriment. Because I didn't, but I saw it, and I remembered in 2008, 2009, or whenever it was, when people were buying a pizza for like 10,000 Bitcoin. I was like, this is just stupid. No one's ever going to take alpha.
2010, you were like 11.
Yeah.
13.
My Steam account is... my first Steam account was made in 2003.
You're like 5.
Yes.
I did not
I started playing World of Warcraft.
I started
playing World of Warcraft in 2005. I've always been an early adopter.
I did not have my own computer until I was like 10 something.
By the time I was 10...
even then...
So, my very first time... I remembered having a Dell Inspiron 1100 computer. And this was around about 2000... It got delivered in November 2005, because I think I got it around at the same time that it...
My first laptop was a hand-me-down from my brother.
No, what me and my brother did... my brother brought his Dell Inspiron 1100, and then my mum brought the same computer a couple of weeks or a couple of months later, and we was playing I was playing World of Warcraft, and I remembered I was 7 or 8, yeah, and about a year into it, I was really annoyed because I tried to do some raiding, and which was group events, and my frame rate was so low that I had to learn how to take computers apart and upgrade stuff. So I was 8 when I built my first computer.
That was nice.
I
was 8 when I was 8. I was building Legos. That's about it.
Doing
stupid shit outside.
I had Lego. I had loads of it.
No, me too.
But I remembered it was so my current Steam. So the original Steam account I made back then, it got banned because I was cheating. And then the Steam account I've got now, I made in 2006.
Nice.
So like I say, I've always been a very early adopter. Like, I was one of the first people to take the iPhone apart and change the back to a clear back for like the iPhone 3G.
My first iPhone was an iPhone 5. I would say everything got... Well, not anymore, but like, when I was growing up, everything got to Portugal like 5 years, 10 years later than everywhere else.
Yeah.
That's my experience.
It was always strange because I had to... When I was growing up, I was like... I did so much adult stuff when I was young, like having my own Steam account. I got my first bank account when I was like 12 or 13.
Well, I had my bank accounts with my parents set up to save money on it.
The only reason I had to get a bank account was the moment I could get a bank account means I can go and get a paper round. And my mum basically said, if you want your World of Warcraft, you're going to have to go out and earn the money to pay the subscription. So I went out and I got a paper round for £30 a month, and £9 of that went to my subscription World of Warcraft, and the rest of it bought energy drinks. No. And at the same time, and a couple of years later, at the same time, I then started listening to podcasts. That's how early I think 2008, 2009, I started listening to podcasts.
No. In 2008, I discovered Mamma Mia, the movie, and it's the best movie of all time.
Ha! That was a joke, right?
No, I love that movie.
God.
It's my guilty pleasure.
You've had a very sheltered childhood, haven't you, Rita?
It's amazing.
My favourite movie to this day, and one I watched in 2004 was Shaun of the Dead.
No, my favorite movie is Little Mermaid. But I do love Mamma Mia. It's amazing.
You had a very sheltered childhood.
If you say so. I have a very cheesy taste in music in movies.
Did your parents allow you to play GTA?
Yeah, I had the GTA San Andreas for PlayStation 2.
Sad about that. Have you seen the new one? I was so excited for because I was like, we're going to get remastered. It's going to be working on computer really good, and I can have modifications. It's going to be great. And then now it turns out to be like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy that modding community that actually fixed the game, and now Rockstar wants to sue them.
That sounds about right. No, but I had GTA San Andreas growing up, and my favorite thing to do was just ride bikes and listen to the radio.
Did you not ever do the missions?
The country. I did some of them, but I never finished it. I think I unlocked like the second city and just didn't go further than that.
So you didn't even get to the point where you had the car dealership?
No.
You didn't get to the point where you flew to GTA 3?
No. I just liked...
Did you ever know that was a mission?
No. I just liked stealing bikes and riding bikes like on the motorway and listen to like the country radio station.
Oh my god.
That was my favorite thing to do in GTA.
I remembered I had
but I do remember like buying like books for like PS2 that came with a bunch of cheat codes.
Those manuals are so good.
I probably still own them back in my parents' place somewhere.
I
remember buying 2 of them so I could get like the cheat codes for GTA.
Do you remember those little books that you used to have that would be like PS2 cheat codes, and do you know that same really cheap like off-white paper that would be in like books and stuff?
Yeah. And
it would have that smell, and it would be a PS2 manual, and it would only be one of your mates had it. Well, for me anyway, there was only one of my mates that had it, so we all borrowed it, and in the back of our GTA San Andreas inside manual, the case, you just write all these cheat codes. And there was one cheat code that I wrote down wrong, and it was like weapon cheat 3 or something. That took me a couple of weeks to guess what the other one was. It was L1, L2, R1, R2, up, down, right, up, down, left, right, up, down, right, left, right, triangle, circle, X square, triangle, circle, X square.
Isn't that the one that gives you like money and a bunch of life or something?
I don't remember it. I just remember that off by heart.
I think that's the one that like gives you a bunch of money or something.
Not sure. Do you remember in GTA where you used to be able to put flying on, get a tank, put the turret all the way back, and then just keep firing, and you just like fly everywhere?
Yeah, there was like for like flying cars, a bunch of money. Like every car was like a sports car. It was. Yeah, I remember that. But what I liked was just riding the bike and listening to the country radio station. That was my favorite.
It was always interesting with what's it called? Obviously with our hobbies of the past, because you often were very nostalgic about it.
Well, that's what nostalgia is. Remembering something from your past that affected you.
But do you think the hobbies that we have today is directly because of our... So let's say if you're really into hockey when you were a kid.
Yes.
Do you think that you're far more likely to pick that up again when you're an adult than if you're not?
Most hobbies are all related to your childhood. Anyway, I think so.
What
are you looking for? There's a picture of your screen with the fairy on it.
I think that's one of my...
Oh, that's old Warcraft.
Yeah, this was
your old computer.
But that's not. I had another picture somewhere where it was in my conservatory, and then we had both the same desks. Me and brother had the same desk. I was facing out the window. He was facing towards the wall. Same computer, same monitor, just different mouse and keyboard and headset. And so we used to play Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft, Battlefield, everything. It was a good time. It was a good time.
I played Counter-Strike with some friends that were also my neighbors.
Which Counter-Strike?
I think it was CSGO, I think.
When did you play it?
I could be wrong. It's like, I don't know. It must have been 2012, I'd say. 11.
If it was 2000 No, that
I know it was a Counter-Strike. I know it was like a free one that was probably pirated.
Well, they had... The popular ones were Counter-Strike 1.6.
Oh, there might have been that.
Which was from the old Half-Life. It was a mod of the old Half-Life.
I don't know.
Then you had Counter-Strike Go, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is based on Half-Life 2. No. Modified Half-Life 2. CSGO is good. It really is. I love that game. Anyway, I try and keep on topic. Right, so in terms of what we would deem like a hobbies, when socially we are very... a lot of people are very nervous at saying about what their actual hobbies are. So a
lot of people are generally don't like being judged, I would say.
So to go back to the example, so if you say, I love sitting there watching, I like watching, going to the cinema. I like to go out for having some food. I like it. And go, what do you actually do? I like to sit there and do cross stitch and drink energy drinks. Okay. That's fine, I don't care.
I know how to cross stitch.
Do you really?
Yes. Oh, at least I used to. As a child. I haven't done it in
Rita,
years.
you are a 70-year-old in a 20-year-old body. You do know that.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I used to know how to cross stitch.
But yeah, you can so what are the hobbies that you have that...
Should I take up cross stitch again?
Rita, you can do what you wish. I'll judge you.
I mean, I could. Just like little Pokemon, like the old pixelated sprites.
Do you remember when everyone used to have those little plastic things that you put down and then you'd iron it over the top?
Yes.
Those things have come back so popular now.
Have they?
Yeah. I saw when we was at Comic-Con, people had hats with that glued onto the top of it.
Oh, like the little plastic beads.
Yeah.
I
used to do that when I was a kid.
I bought a Magikarp with the...
Yes, you did. You had it on your bag, didn't you?
Completely fell apart a couple of months. There's still pieces on my bag, I think. But I completely fell apart. I should take up cross-stitching.
But yeah, what hobbies do you have that you would deem kind of very personal to you or very specific? Yes, okay, so we know that you watch films.
I do watch films.
Go to the cinema semi-often.
I would say, I would go more often
if there was actual films.
If it wasn't for my weird schedule now.
And if there's actual good films that come out regularly.
I mean,
before the pandemic, there was loads.
Well, depends on the time of the year. Because now we're getting into Oscar season, so the prestige movies are all coming out. In summer is all blockbusters. October is all horror films and stuff like that.
I don't pay that much attention.
If you say so. There's usually also a lot of horror films in January, but those are usually crap.
So they're the October rejects.
More or less, yeah.
So we all know that. So we know that you are. So I say we. So I know that you're into your movies, watching TV shows, and so on. Especially Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, I do watch Grey's Anatomy at least 2-3 times
a day. A second, an hour,
the whole seasons. And Disney Plus would release season 17. I don't know why they haven't, but
anyway. So so I know you're into that.
Yes.
But do you have any hobbies, or do you think? So, question one: what are your strange hobbies? And two, what hobbies do you think are popular, but no one actually would admit that they are into?
I don't know. I mean, that's popular. People wouldn't admit.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, I'm trying to think of an example. So if you're into, just trying to think, because
I mean, I know you like when we were discussing what topic we would talk about, and you said we could do like obscure hobbies. Yeah. And you mentioned like Lego, but like for adults. I'm like, that's super popular now.
That's a very good example, because Lego I didn't think was very popular, but the way that I judge it is the hobby that you do, would you bring it up on a first date?
Yes.
Would a normal person bring it up on a first date? Let's say.
Honestly, I think so.
So if you're...
Because Lego's expensive, which means you have money to spare.
You're very biased, Rita.
Just saying.
You're very biased in this conversation.
I don't know. I think Lego's been like so popular, especially in adults recently. I don't think it's like a hobby that people are like, that's kind of weird for an adult anymore.
I think it still is.
I don't think so. I disagree.
I think amongst the general public.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I mentioned to like everyone that I meet they like Lego.
Yeah, but
my coworkers know that I like Lego.
Yeah, but Rita, if anyone knows you,
yes,
everyone expects this of you.
I guess.
If for example, you're a person who just goes to we're not normal.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm extremely average.
You're not normal.
I'm average height. I'm average weight. I have an average job. I gain less than average.
Well, and honestly, a normal. When I say a normal person, I mean kind of a very specific person. Which, well,
something very specific. No. Normal.
I'm just trying to explain. So, when I say
your average Joe,
so an average person will tend to go to work, spend time with family.
Yes.
Go to the pub. Go on holiday. They're the few things that the average Joe tends to do.
Well, going to a pub is very British.
Yeah, but we are. Well, you are now British.
How am I British?
You've lived there for long enough.
I'm not British. I do not have a British nationality, citizenship. I'm an immigrant.
If you live in a country long enough, you tend to become like them.
Not anymore. Not after Brexit.
We're not going.
Now
down
we have to go through extra steps.
We're not going down that rabbit hole.
I'm just saying. I mean,
if like you say that, but if you live in a country for long enough, you tend to take on the kind of.
I don't know. I still call trousers pants, even though pants in the UK.
Yeah, but that's
underwear.
not Portuguese. That's not English. That's because you've got a weird Americanisms.
And that's because that's mostly how I learn English.
That's because you watch Grey's Anatomy all the time.
True, but also...
You've been indoctrinated by Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy, yeah.
No...
it's true, we do not call trousers pants in Portugal. We call them calças. Calças.
So it's basically trousers, but just with a C at the front.
No. C-A-L-C with the different C with a little thing hanging out at the bottom. Yes, calças.
Anyway, so I'm with. You've been here long enough to know that kind of what the average British person does.
Unfortunately.
So.
And I say not because I don't like living here, but because the average British person is very, obnoxious about their Britishness.
Explain that, Rita. Explain.
You guys are very, I don't know.
Polite, lovely.
Not really.
Friendly.
I wouldn't say so.
Perfect teeth.
Going to get drunk at pubs and do nothing else.
That's literally our culture.
It's very obvious. I mean, there's a pub. You kick a rock and there's a pub underneath it.
Yeah, but that's... Yeah, that's how it used to be, but now they all get converted into like flats with Weatherspoons on the corner that gets full up.
With a pub in it.
Yeah, but that's how it's supposed to. In Britain,
yes.
you need to have a pub within. If you don't have a pub within a 10-minute walking distance from your house, are you in England?
No, you're somewhere else.
Exactly. Pubs are integral to the British way of life, and
but I guess in Portugal we have cafes where you kick a rock and there's a cafe there.
But that's good. But that's the thing. British pubs are renowned for being the world's best. I'm sorry, but they are.
Well,
you go to America. You go to America, and they're like, I just want to go to a British pub and have a pint. It'll be amazing.
Well, if it's
and then they come here and then they just get fuck off, mate.
If it's not in the UK, it's not a pub. Then it's just some random bar
with a picture of the Queen mounted on the wall and some old paneling.
Or if it's Irish, just a random 4-leaf clover somewhere. So you're Irish
with the word Guinness splattered everywhere.
Yeah. Like, oh, it's an Irish pub. Yeah, my
with
my great grandma's neighbor was Irish,
and
so I decided to follow my heritage.
But that's the thing.
And open an Irish bar.
An Irish bar only is Irish. Is only an Irish bar when there's some people outside casually having a fight. Every time that you go to,
I've never been to Ireland, so I wouldn't know.
I've never been to Ireland, but whenever you go to an Irish pub, you have to have people outside fighting.
That sounds fun.
Well, put it this way. When I was in Southampton, me and my girlfriend...
Southampton is in Ireland?
No,
Ireland.
They have an Irish pub, and there's just a guy casually walked out there with a gun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, we thought we was going to die. The bus didn't turn up on time, and so we were just sat at the bus stop in the firing line of a gun.
If it was a knife, I'd be more worried.
No, it was a gun.
It's not America. So there was very little chance you'd start shooting up a school. Oof! No. Bad me.
Yeah,
that was bad.
Guns are guns. No, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
Guns are guns. They are indeed guns. Are guns guns? They are guns. Guns.
Okay, the difference in this podcast is I'm very for everyone to have guns. I want everyone to have a gun. Everyone to learn how to fire a gun. Everyone to have a gun.
Why?
It's safer that way.
Not really. It's just like more angry people with more guns.
Not really.
Yes.
So I watched a video last night. Some guys.
Oh God.
No. This is nothing to do with guns, but it's related. So there was a guy. There was a group. There was 3 people stealing a catalytic converter from a guy's car on the driveway. Right.
Yes.
And the guys there had a knife, pointed towards the homeowner who's trying to stop them. And there was a person on the upstairs filming.
Yes.
If a homeowner had a gun, those people would not be there.
Well,
they'd just get shot.
Shooting people is not a good thing.
No, but nor is stealing people's property and being on their private property.
Well, do we want...
The Second Amendment right is like...
Would you want to commit crime to defend crimes?
It's not a crime if they're trying to... Second Amendment is like defending yourself and defending your property.
Actually, it is not. The Second Amendment is very often misinterpreted, but let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Should we just guess, where's Batman then? I want Batman. Why isn't there a Batman in the world? There's enough rich people for it. Why isn't a Tesla, what's his face, Elon Musk, Batman? He has the money for it.
Anyway, hobbies. Hobbies.
Batman.
So,
is Batman a hobby?
Yeah.
Is doing Batman a hobby? It is for Catwoman. Ayo.
Oh, Rita, I'm so disappointed in you.
I am too disappointed in myself.
Anyway, so getting back on topic. So
speaking of Batman, I have a Lego Batman that I've been meaning to build for
Rita,
you
keep saying we keep going off topic, and there's me multiple times trying to bring it back on topic. Yet you're talking about Catwoman banging Batman,
but not. But Batman. Have you heard the news that Batman does not go down on Catwoman?
Rita, please stop.
Batman does save the world, but not cunnilingus.
True. Trying my best.
DC was like, Batman does not go down on Catwoman. We want that to be very specifically in the lore of Batman. He does not go down on Catwoman or any woman.
Rita, is that one of your obscure hobbies? You write Rule 34 for Batman.
No, it's actual. Warner Brothers put out an actual statement that Batman, not Warner Brothers, DC Comics, that Batman does not go down on Batwoman. Hashtag just saying. Then Zack Snyder posted a picture on Twitter of him going down on Batwoman. I'm just saying. I mean, one of my hobbies is enjoying superheroes movies and sometimes comics. I've been reading Harley Quinn's Eat Bang Kill Tour, which actually kind of started a whole conversation of Batman does not go down on Catwoman. It's part of my hobby.
What?
Enjoying comics.
Thinking about Batman going down on Catwoman.
Yeah, so I've told you.
Is that one of your hobbies?
I've told you about the show Harley Quinn, the animated series. It's hilarious. And I think the creators on season 3 mentioned something about Batman and Catwoman.
I'm so confused where this conversation's going.
And about them having sex, and then DC released a statement saying that Batman does not go down on Batwoman. On Catwoman, not Batwoman. Catwoman.
Rita, what goes on?
This actually happened. I'm not making this shit up.
Rita, what goes on in your head?
Not on my head. It actually happened. Zack Snyder got involved in everything. It's an actual piece of news that happened. I remember. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, fuck's sake, Rita. Anyway, let's try and get back on topic.
I don't know. I'm going to search for the piece of news.
You're not Googling Batman going down on Catwoman.
Not bear. Batman not going down on Catwoman.
Is this the most important information you need to find out in your life currently?
Look.
Okay. I'm really concerned with...
Vulture. Batman can't go down on Catwoman, DC says.
Why not?
Because it's something... Heroes don't do that. Heroes do not go down on women. Heroes suck at sex.
No. It's because Batman's not a cuck. He's not a beta bitch.
Yeah. So the Harley Quinn, that's the series that I'm talking about. Creators. DC wouldn't let Batman go down on Catwoman.
Yeah, because
it's hilarious.
Batman's no beta bitch.
Did Zack Snyder draw a picture of Batman going down on Catwoman?
Oh.
This was actual news 6 months ago. I love it. I love the internet. Sometimes.
Can I try and recover this podcast?
It is part of my hobby, technically.
What, watching Batman go down on Catwoman is a part of your hobby?
No, watching DC, not saying that Batman doesn't go down on Catwoman because heroes don't do that. It's funny. You have to admit it's funny. Even ridiculous. Come on. Also, Harley Quinn TV series, great show. My hobby, watching this show. It's now on hiatus. We're waiting for season 3. Also, my hobby, reading the comics that are coming out during the hiatus of the animated show. Also,
your hobby, watching Batman go down on Catwoman.
One, I'll go get it. This is not official media, but I'll go get it anyway.
I'm very sorry for this. I'm trying to rescue this.
My most recent one arrived.
I'm trying to rescue this podcast.
Issue 3, the Eat Bang Kill Tour, our Harley Quinn, the animated series. It's good.
What the fuck is going on?
It's good. That's what you wanted the podcast to be. Just a mess. So you stole me. That's why we don't structure it. Why are you complaining?
I'm not disagreeing with you, but now I'm seeing the inner thoughts of your head and I'm worried.
What's my inner thoughts? That I like comic books.
No, is that you?
I actually hadn't thought about that in years.
That in your brain there's information stored based on the fact that Batman goes down on Catwoman.
My head is like stored like random facts. Like Hitler's favorite movie was apparently Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Is that true?
Apparently, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that like several times.
Oh, I found out the other day. The Nazi Party actually made a Titanic movie.
The Nazi Party made a shit ton of movies.
And apparently it was it sunk because Irish and British workers are like the worst people in the world, and they killed all these people, and all of them were German.
I thought you were going to say because the iceberg was British. Or something. Or Jewish. The iceberg was Jewish, and that's why...
Why can I just imagine a Titanic going along and it just having a Jewish... It's got a little Jewish cap on the iceberg.
The hat. Or if it's British, just a pine next to it.
No, it goes on... Do you know that advert where it's like... Carlsberg, extra cold. The iceberg is just...
Just a giant Carlsberg. Fuck off, you twat.
Fuck off, you twats. I'll sink your battleship.
Boom.
Okay. Anyway.
Oh, did you know that actually there was a book that technically predicted the Titanic?
Yes, I know. It came out many years before called The Fall of the Titan.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
It's amazing.
And it had the same amount of funnels, and he also predicted the fact that the 3 of the funnels would work as exhaust, and one of them was just be there for show, and it was all true. And
I just have like random facts in my head that I sometimes remember.
We watch a lot of YouTube videos, don't we?
I guess.
Do you ever watch Tom Scott?
Sometimes, yes. His most recent video that I watched was on the Dasani water.
Oh, yeah.
Why it failed in the UK.
The funniest thing about Tom Scott is, I'm telling you.
He reminds me, to me, he looks like Jason from Uni.
Oh, yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm telling you, there's places in the world that only exist to make a Tom Scott video. There's no other reason. There's just random shit that happens, and it's just so he can come there and make a 3-minute video and get 50 million views.
His videos are good. I like
his videos are so good.
I have not watched a lot of them, I'll be honest, but the ones that I watched, they are good.
And what I really like is the fact that he actually gets the information. Yeah. He gets proper references. He gets rights to put anything that he puts in his videos. The music is all original, and the whole video itself, he's not trying to make it 10 minutes to hit like an advertising milestone. Yeah. He just makes the video as best as he can and releases it, and he goes everywhere. Like there's a 4-minute video, and he goes to America to film a 4-minute video on a random place, and then comes back.
Yeah,
he's
the one that told me VPNs are actually kind of useless.
Did you? Yeah, that video where it's like, if the VPN companies were actually true, they'd be telling you.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, we tried to get a VPN company to like sponsor us to say this, and we were really close, but then they said no." I'm like, no shit.
Yeah. Also, like the only reason I would get a VPN was to use it on Netflix, and those don't work.
Did you not want to protect your information against conglomerate overlords?
No, I mean, what would they want with my information? This crazy woman likes Lego, I guess. And she watches Grey's Anatomy a lot. We should stay away from her. There's too much crazy in there.
No, they're like, okay, we can accept this. We can market to this. We can sell shit. She's also Googling Batman going down a catwalk.
No, actually, the first time I crossed that was because of Reddit, because now I like Reddit and I go on it.
Yeah. But yeah, we so it's one of those things where to the average person you
haven't told us we're on our end. You haven't talked about your obscure hobby, which is 10 times more obscure than my hobby of building Lego.
Yeah, no,
as an adult person,
my hobby is very obscure. But yeah, so
tell us more. Tell me more. Does he have a car?
We will get there. So in terms of
Lego Store has pigs.
General hobbies. You've got people who what I would deem as kind of the average Joe who, goes to the pub, watches football, whatever. The typical British person. So
which football would be a hobby, watching football.
Yeah, but that's why I say
it's a very common hobby.
This is what I'm trying to get at. There are very common hobbies that people do that no one bats an eyelid against.
And just because they're so, common, they're they're... Not basically. They're, what's the word I'm looking for? They're less a hobby, it's just a thing that culturally we all do.
Yeah.
Like watching the Euro Cup.
So you've got those types of what I call generic hobbies, generic interests, which are kind of socially pulled from, if you're into sports, you're automatically, they presume that you're into football. For example, if you say, actually, no, I'm into hockey. Really?
Yeah, really? Hockey? I don't get it at all.
And then they judge you for it. But anyway, besides the point. So you've got those generic hobbies, what I call generic hobbies, that a lot of people in British culture do. In America, it'd be like everyone's into American football, for example.
Kind of. The football one is... I think the whole world is into football. That's football as a hobby, except for the Americans.
That's what I mean. Idiots. This is what I'm trying to. So in the UK, everyone's into football, and everyone in America is into
even if you don't
American
like football, you watch football.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So,
do I like football? No. Do I watch Euro Cup and World Cup? Yes.
Yeah,
it's Portugal for the win.
That's because Portugal won once.
We're crawling to the finish line.
You're going very slow at it.
We need to fire our coach. He's honestly terrible. I don't understand why he's still there. I don't. It's ridiculous. He sucks.
But anyway, so you've got those generic hobbies.
Yeah.
And so you've got those socially accepted hobbies that so many people do.
Yeah.
And when in our culture there is, for some reason, it's very stigmatizing to do something, to have a hobby that not many people do outside of the generic. So there's hobbies that people do that not a lot of people do, but they are very cool, trendy, and hip, and nice and good.
Yes.
Which could be everyone knows what football is. A lot of people play it. Everyone accepts it. Then you've got hobbies in the middle, hobbies where not a lot of people do, but they're kind of cool, trendy, and fun. So I
think those
Let's say, for example, if you say, my hobby is skydiving.
That sounds cool.
Exactly. How many people do you think take up skydiving as every hobby?
Me. I do it every weekend.
That's because you're a nutter. But yeah,
it's the truth though. I go skydiving every weekend. I just never told you that before now.
Rita, if I ever see you jump out of a plane,
yes,
I'd be worried.
Well, you wouldn't see me jump out of the plane because you wouldn't be in that plane unless you were skydiving too.
No, that's why I said you'd be worried, because I'd be flying the plane.
Oh, you'd be flying the plane. Oh, then I would definitely jump out.
And then I'd be flying towards two massive towers.
Yes, and then they would combust into fire before you even hit them.
Exactly.
The bombs just vanish.
The bombs would explode. The explosives would go off beforehand.
And they would just immediately vanish.
Yeah.
And by the time the smoke cleared, there's a whole new memorial.
Yeah, and then they'll find a passport perfectly intact just next door to it.
Yes.
Anyway,
That's how that thing went.
The thing that happened many years ago, the thing with the guy with the beard with the Allahu Akbar. That thing. So you've got hobbies like I say, skydiving, where not a lot of people do it. It's one of those things that you gets people talking about what you do, and not a lot of people are going to do it. So that's kind of in between.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got ones on the complete opposite spectrum, which if you say you do, you're going to get stigmatized and judged for doing it. So I think there's four. The way I look at it is four. You've got everyday common ones like football.
Yes.
You've got on the complete opposite side, where people think it's really uncool and weird. Let's say you're into, satanic magic.
Excuse me.
Shut up, Reese. You're going to say it's cool, but that's because you're weird.
It sounds cool.
So
Satan for the win.
See, this is what I mean. So you've got people like, or if you're on this side where it's like, really, like, let's say your hobby is, I don't know, abducting people. People are going to say that's very weird.
I mean, that's also a crime.
Yes, but you've got that. You've got the two polar opposites, and then in the middles, you've got hobbies that people do a lot and are very uncommon, but are cool. And then there's ones where people do, they love. A small amount of people do, they love, and they don't really...
And they're not a crime?
And not a crime. But they've seemed to the general public as very nerdy, very uncool, uncommon.
I guess.
Which is where I'd put my hobby in.
I mean, I wouldn't say your hobby is uncool. I would say, why would you do that?
Yeah,
because you go... Not because...
Okay, explain what it is.
So, Mitchell's hobby, obscure hobby, is that he goes to Doctor Who locations where filming took place.
Yes.
And he takes pictures matching up the scene to the current landscape.
Yes.
He gets very, very close. Although, like, I've also seen people doing that with Harry Potter ones, where they have, like, the picture and, like, match lines up perfectly.
True, but they don't do it to the extent that I do it.
No, the thing that's like, why would you do that part is like you go to extreme lengths at points, almost getting in trouble with the police. To get those pictures.
So let's take the general hobby as filming locations.
Yes.
So, as a generic person who watches films,
yes,
they can plot themselves on the cool graph, or the coolness graph. So the people
I would say that's more of a everyday hobby. Like everyone watches films.
I'm talking about filming locations.
Oh, film.
So a generic person who watches films, who just does everyday stuff, who might, when they go to London, go to the King's Cross Harry Potter thing to take a photo. That's kind of okay. That you put up on your Facebook, no one's going to judge you. You might go to let's say, do you remember in Harry Potter when there was a Millennium Bridge and they had the...
Which gets destroyed.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might take a picture and go, oh, they filmed Harry Potter here. Isn't that cool? Then that'd be it.
Actually, I think that was CGI. I don't think they destroyed the bridge. Is the bridge still there? We should go check it out.
No, fine. I saw it a few weeks ago. It's fine.
Yeah, so they rebuilt it.
Doctor Who film was filmed around there.
They rebuilt it after that. Is that how explosions work in films?
No, it got. As we all know, we're in the Matrix. This is not real life. So
we are in the Matrix. What's the name
Metaverse.
of the new one?
I don't know.
That's not Revolutions. That's a sequel. I've never seen the Matrix.
Matrix is good. Anyway,
I've never seen it.
So you've got film locations as a thing. So if you go to very, very popular locations, then
if you step in London, you're probably by accident in the filming location.
Exactly. So you could something like Harry Potter or even Doctor Who. You could be a person who watches Doctor Who might go to a very, very popular Doctor Who location where they filmed it and then go, oh, this happened here. And
if you've ever been to Piccadilly Circus, you've been to a film location.
Exactly. This is what I mean. So you've got those, and then
you got yours where you go into the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere.
So if you're on my scale, so I've got a Doctor Who page called DW Locations, Doctor Who Locations, where I visit every single shot they've ever done for Doctor Who. That's so, right. For example, if they had a shot in I don't know, let's pick one out of my head. So
73.
So we are talking. So 1970 was Series 7, Series 8, Series 9. So that's Series. So we're talking Series 10. So we're talking something like Day of the Daleks. So if you said 1973, I know I've done locations that filmed there. So for example, they filmed an episode called Day of the Daleks in London, where they used back in the 70s, tower blocks were like the new and cool and trendy way to live. And now one goes, these estates are little shitholes that are just full of crime.
They're also ugly.
Yeah, they're disgusting. But yeah, these 3 buildings were built in the 60s, I think, 50s, 60s, I think 60s. So my level is not cool. What I do, some of the locations I go are very, very popular that I could put up on my Facebook, like my actual Facebook page, and most people go, I remember when I watched that looked cool. But I go to locations where it was on screen for literally 2 seconds that showed a random building or like here is a road or here is 3 bushes, and I get that location. I take the picture within a meter radius, and then I have a picture from the episode and a picture in real life.
Yes. And to do that, you've gone into, there's also kind of a legal part where you've trespassed several occasions to get those pictures.
I might have done.
Allegedly.
Supposedly. Anyway,
There's no proof. Except the pictures.
Yeah, but
there's no proof that he took it.
And there's no proof that I didn't get permission to.
Exactly.
So you've got... So my hobby, for example, when I do these locations, the way I make it so the average person doesn't think I'm a complete nutcase and weirdo is I have to kind of reverse it and say, yes, you personally might not be interested in the fact that there was a tree there 55 years ago that was used in a shot from like 3 seconds of a Doctor Who thing, and I've travelled 3 hours to get there.
Yeah.
You might not think that's cool. I do, but you can at least you can see the opposite side. So I've had to almost do a mini adventure to get there.
Yeah.
So I've had to watch the episode, work out by doing loads of research where this was filmed, go on Google Maps, identify it.
Yeah.
Then I needed to plan out a trip to get there, so I could have...
You know what we should do? Mm. You remember how we tried to do a documentary on Doctor Who fans and whatever?
Mm.
When you get to like your last set of locations, we should start a documentary like where that thing started, and then it finishes with you taking the last picture.
Yeah, but...
Ever.
Yeah, but that's going to be at least 10 years time.
Sure, I mean, we're planning ahead. As I've seen in the recent film that I went to see yesterday in the cinema, the key to success is planning. What do you say? If you plan... Wait, if you... what? If you fail... No, wait.
If you what?
If you plan...
Yes.
It was something to do with plan and fail, and then if you don't plan, you fail.
So something
like that.
If you plan to fail, if you don't plan, you get. I'm taking a guess.
Wait, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That was it.
Rita.
That was it.
You're gonna get that on a t-shirt.
I mean, they probably sell t-shirts that say that. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's catchy.
You just sound like a YouTube psychologist.
Thank you.
Anyway, so you've got... So the way I explain it and the way I try to justify it is I've got to do... I watch the episode, identify that was a location.
Yes.
I then have to do research to find out where that was filmed.
Yes.
Then I need to go on Google Maps to look at how it is now.
Yes.
See if there's anyone else who's done those pictures. Once I've done that and I've got that written down, I then have to put them on my phone.
True.
So I know where I need to film. And often I print it off so I know exactly where it is.
You have your trusty folder with you.
Always have my trusty folder with me. And then I go to these locations. So what I do is I then plan to drive, take trains or go to these locations. I then have to hunt for exactly where it's filmed.
Yes.
Matching everything up. And then I get the photograph and I put it up on my Facebook page. So...
And we've actually done one of these together when we went to London with my camera, and we actually filmed some stuff.
Yeah, and this is the thing.
And then you matched it to like the scene.
Yeah, it's the exact same window. I know it. I know that one is the exact window because I counted.
The one with the London eye is like it's spot on. It's amazing.
Yeah, I and the thing is, this is the thing with most hobbies. From the outside perspective, it might just look that I'm a weirdo walking around taking pictures of a tree. But when you need to look deeper and go, okay, for me to get to that point, it's not, for me, I don't do it because I get a kick out of, okay, so some of the Doctor Who locations are really cool. Like, actually, like the places that I go to. So about 2-3 months ago, I went to one of the locations near Peterborough, where it used to be a World War II airfield. So I got chatting to the people around there. So I saw the airfield, the control tower, and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
amazing. I get to see the way that I justify it is, I'm around here. The only reason that it was Doctor Who filmed there was literally had a few roads where a car drove down. Literally just a few turn-ins where the car just drove down. That's all it was. So I travelled all the way there, so it's about an hour and a half to get there. When I got there, it wasn't necessarily the fact that I cared about where it was filmed. I explored around there. I got chatting to the locals there. They told me about the history of the place. And it was fantastic I love to travel and I like to see places. And the way that I justify, I'm terrible at planning to go to visit places. However, if I watch Doctor Who and it gives me random places to go, I get to see some of the places that I would never ever think about going, and it's amazing. It really is truly good because I've been to small little villages where it literally looks like time has stood still.
We could do documentary on this,
and
we could. I think it would be pretty good.
Yeah, because I think it's called the Rutlands near Peterborough. There they filmed the episode Battlefield. So this little village looks like time has stood still, and I got all the shots and stuff, and it was just a beautiful place to go because they also had like a reservoir there, and I got all the shots and I got chatting to the locals, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I killed a pigeon.
I believe that.
No, I did.
I know. I think you told me.
So what happened was I saw a pigeon in the middle of the road.
He just hates pigeons. That's the truth.
They're flying rats.
They are.
So
they carry a bunch of diseases.
So I saw one in the road, and he was just sitting there, and the car's having to go around him. So I was trying to shuffle him off, and I thought he broke his wing or broke his leg or something. So I tried to shuffle him off into the grass.
Yes.
So I'm moving him, and he literally just got up and fucking flew away. I was like, oh, cool. And so I was just watching him fly away. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And at that exact same moment, a car came, smacked. Literally killed the pigeon and went flying.
Why didn't you film that?
I didn't expect a pigeon to be killed by a fucking Honda Civic.
Well, you should have. So... Ooh, Amazon workers plan Black Friday strike.
Yeah. But,
sorry.
So that's like one of my really obscure things. But like you say, when I explain it like this, it gets people interested. And I think this is the one of the issues with having hobbies is trying to explain to people the in-depth reasons why you like that thing. Because when you just see my Doctor Who page and you just see, here is a road with 3 bushes. Here is a road with 3 bushes from the episode. How exciting. Okay, let me explain to you how long and how much work took to get there and what I had to do to get there. I almost have to do filming of that to make it seem interesting. But I don't care about that. I just want to get the location.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any obligation to make your hobby interesting to anyone else but you.
Explain. Rita, what's your weird hobby?
I don't have a weird hobby. I
You can't say Lego because that's not a weird hobby.
Exactly. I don't have... What's my weird hobby then? I don't know. Do I have a weird hobby?
You tell me.
Do you have any... Do you think any of my hobbies are weird?
The thing is, I can't tell you if they are weird or not. Because I have weird hobbies. So
Tell me.
No.
What do you think is my weird hobby?
The problem is I can't... I don't know. Because my hobbies are so weird that whatever hobby you have, I can't see it personally as being weird. I don't see most hobbies as weird because I can see further down. But as a generic person, like a person who doesn't have weird hobbies like I do, I can't see it. Like what you do, I think is really cool because I can look into it and go, Lego, okay. On a surface level, you can go, okay, that just seems a bit childish. That's what I used to do as a kid.
To an average person, the fact that I still build Lego is my weird hobby.
Exactly. I don't see it at all. I do not see it as weird in any way, shape, or form.
I mean...
I want to build a Lego Titanic, but it's £569.
I understand. What's the problem? You have a job. Buy it. Buy it. I'll build it for you. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Just don't eat for the next 3 years.
£569 is like halfway for me to get in my dream item. My dream item of all time is a full-size Dalek.
I'll just have the Dalek without some of the bubbles. They're missing, like a half destroyed.
Yeah, but that's more expensive.
Okay, never mind then.
It's like, do you know when you? I know this is probably a reference you won't understand. It's like buying a race car. It's like half of the panels, half the things are missing, but it's more expensive because it's quicker. That's how.
How?
Yeah. So, for example, if you go and buy a Porsche.
Yes.
And it's 300 kilograms lighter because they've removed seats and they've removed carpets and removed the radio. It's 40 grand more expensive.
Sounds ridiculous.
It's crazy, ain't it? But it's like that with the...
If it removes stuff from my hobby, I won't be able to do it.
What?
If you remove pieces from my Lego, I won't be able to build it.
You can.
Not the one that I intended to. It would have to be something else.
Oh, saying that, there was... Okay, this is probably another one of my weird hobbies, is I'm very into Titanic. I've loved it since I was a kid. I've got a phone case of Titanic.
Yeah, I've seen the movie. It's okay.
No, I don't care about the movie.
What?
I don't care about the movie.
What's a better story than Jack and what's-her-face, Rose?
I could not care about her.
By the way, I've seen a video from Lindsay Ellis that argues that he could not fit on the door and they were all missing the point. I would say she's a bitch that wanted him to die.
Well...
Scoot over!
They... what's bloody hell? Why am I blanking on his name? He's
Jack and Rose.
No, director Titanic. He's
James Cameron.
James Cameron. How do I? He's like the number one Titanic expert now.
Yes.
He's done more dives to Titanic than pretty much anyone.
Doesn't Titanic have a sequel?
No, you've seen those. There's a parody spoof of it.
Is there? Yeah. Where he comes back.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember something
during the 80s, during the 70s or 80s, I can't remember. I think it was early 80s. They did a film called Raise the Titanic.
Yeah.
And the whole story is they literally went down to the Titanic, put some bags on it, filled it with air, and just raised the whole ship, and it just like all comes up as one. And then, like 2 years later, everyone realised when they've actually found the Titanic, it was like cut in two, it was all broken up, and it was completely destroyed. And everyone was like, "Oh, we can still raise it, right?" I'm like, and was like, "It's literally fallen apart. If we raise it, it will just go." But yeah, that's one of my really weird hobbies. I love the Titanic. That's why with your Lego, I saw on one of these Facebook pages, someone brought the Lego Titanic, and they had a couple of pieces.
Huge.
They had a couple of pieces missing.
Oh, you can just call Lego and they'll send you. Not even call. Put it onto their website. They'll send it right over.
Yeah, but
Lego has a great
9,000. What is it? Nearly 10,000 pieces. Yeah. If there's a few missing, that's not too bad. That's a good hit rate.
Depends on what is missing. Because sometimes they send spare parts of like the small ones, so you'd be able to finish it fine. If it's a bigger piece, then you'd be missing stuff. What is happening?
I need to put my laptop on charge. So.
Oh, I see.
So I need you to keep chatting.
I will keep chatting while you put your laptop on charge. You should have been more prepared for this. Have it ready. So I'm very disappointed on you. You know what you should do to make me happy again?
Find a copy of some fan fiction of Batman and Catwoman going down on you.
Excuse me.
some Rule 34 on fucking 4chan.
That I'm probably already to this.
I know it bloody exists.
Yeah, no, buy the Titanic Lego.
The Titanic Lego actually does look phenomenal.
It looks amazing.
I really want to see it in real life. It's 1.3 meters long.
It's huge.
I know for a fact it would take me. Do you know what, Rita? You would hate me saying this, but I'd build it myself.
Yes, I would be very upset because you promised me you'd let me build it.
No, because I'd punish myself. I would say
building it's not punishment; it's the reward.
No, I only want the Lego Titanic because of the Lego Titanic. I don't care about building it. I just want it.
Exactly, just let me build it.
Yeah, but that's why I'd say I'd punish myself, and I'd say if you want this bitch, you're gonna have to spend time in doing it.
No.
Yes.
No, just give it to Rita. Well, just let Rita come to your place
and you do a video on it, and it'll be like 50 hours long of you building it.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
Actually, to be fair, you'd get a lot of views.
I mean, I'll probably. You
would actually get lots of views because that Lego Titanic set is like one of the most popular sets. It's sold out. It's sold out everywhere. You can't get hold of it.
It's very easy to sell out stuff on Lego.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because of all the mid-20s, early 30-year-olds who still live with their parents who have jobs and just buy Lego.
I wish that was my case.
No, you just live on your own and still buy Lego.
I still buy Lego, but I only buy the small ones because they're not as expensive. If I had a lot of disposable income, I would buy the big ones.
This is why we can't get you a really well-paid job, Rita, because if you were really well-paid, you would run out of room.
Yeah, that would be fine.
You're like, now that is a problem I want.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So in terms of like obscure hobbies, so I believe that I've got some of the most obscure hobbies. Like the Titanic. Yes, that's very obscure because lots of people have watched the Titanic movie,
which has a movie that exists.
There is a version of that movie which I believe is the definitive version, which is without the romance. So there is,
but then you don't have the sweaty palm against the window. That's iconic imagery.
Yeah, that was the only that Renault car was the only car that went on the Titanic, and it was brand new. It was actually there, on the actual ship. When they talking about James Cameron, there was a documentary movie called Ghost from the Abyss. I would say to anyone watch it, even you. I think you would love it.
Would I?
So Ghost from the Abyss is James Cameron and... Is it on
Netflix?
No. It's a Disney movie.
Oh, is it on Disney Plus?
No.
Well, then how am I supposed to watch it then?
It's on YouTube. Someone's uploading it in full.
Okay.
So it's called Ghost from the Abyss. So James Cameron, him and his team go down to the Titanic with remote control robots, and they go through into it, and then they go to all the different locations, so you could see where it was in the Titanic movie, and in real life. And then what they did is they also put little ghostly figures of people walking around it and stuff. So it's really, really... I don't think you need to be into Titanic to appreciate it in any way, shape, or form. But they went to the bottom of the ship, where the storage was, and they think they found where that Renault actually was. So that car.
Did it have a sweaty palm print?
No, they probably had a load of fish swimming around it. Actually, no, that's a lie. They wouldn't have fish. It'd be bacteria because fish can't survive that low down.
Yes, also phrasing.
Yeah, because it's like 2.8 miles down. Something like that.
If you say so.
Yeah, I think it is about 2.8 miles down. But yeah.
No.
So you... so I think that's obviously my hobby that I think is very, very obscure because yes, people are into what the Titanic movie. Some people might even be into like, oh, the ship looks cool. But I'm a nerd. Like I'm looking at like...
You do wear a lot of bow ties.
So this whole podcast is basically about what obscure things is Mitchell really nerdy into.
Sure. You also talked about a lot of nonsense. We also talked about a lot of nonsense. That's our hobby, talking nonsense.
No, that was you for bringing up Batman going down on a Catwoman.
It's just funny.
Explain why. Is that your hobby, Rita? It's
hilarious. How is that not funny? Also, I don't know how that popped into my head.
Because what
were we talking about? Comics?
We're getting into your subconscious.
My subconscious, doing weird facts about Batman.
I mean, here's a question. What do you think, like, in the past, before the internet existed?
Yes.
Do you think people had these weird hobbies? Like,
yes.
Like,
except they were like even more obscure because you
didn't have a fucking Facebook group with like 15 people who like are into the weirdest shit.
The same thing as you are.
Like, saying about like the doculocation stuff, there is a very, very handful of. There's like, I've only counted 6-7 people that, including myself, that go and do these.
There you go.
But if
it'd also be way harder to get those locations on the internet.
Yeah, it would. It'd be. I know there is a book called On Location where they have a lot of them on there, but you don't really. They don't have the pictures to correlate.
Yeah.
And before the internet, you'd be stuck there with your VHS going, Kevin, brace yourself, press pause, stop. Oh, I skipped a few bits. Fuck. Let's go back. Now pause.
Oh shit, the tape broke.
Oh shit. We need to rewind the tape. Just pulls it out. Oh, the tape's stuck in the machine again.
Just pull it out. Pulls it out. Just the whole tape just falls apart.
And it just goes.
Well.
Do you think Blockbuster would take these back?
Definitely.
I wonder how. Talking about that, I wonder how many times, but back in the Blockbuster days, when they had VHSs, did people fuck their tape up and then just palm it back to them and be like, so how was the movie?
Oh, great.
Great.
We're great. Everything's great. Here it is. Here it is. Don't check it. Bye.
Bye. Can I rent this one out? It's the same movie.
Could you rent games here as well? Because in the US you could rent games.
Yeah, you could. But
I know this because I've seen angry video game nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, you could rent games. It started coming a bit more tricky when the Xbox 360 came out originally. Blockbuster was still a thing. They stopped game rentals, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because when you put the game in, it kind of like, what is your, especially PC games, like, what is your activation key?
Oh, yeah.
So from the early 2000s, especially when Steam came in, Blockbuster was dead for PC games. Because they used to be able to go, like, in the very, very early 2000s, you could go into a Blockbuster, pick up a PC game, take it home, put it in there, click install, drop the gun. And then they started having multiple discs, started having activation codes, started having, like, activate this on Steam. And the moment they did that, Blockbuster was gone for PC games. What are we talking about?
I don't know. We make great podcast hosts. We keep getting distracted.
Well, you say that. I just listened to a 3-hour Joe Rogan podcast.
I think Joe Rogan is overrated.
I don't. I think he's honestly the best podcaster, bar none. But he was talking to, what was his name? I listened to every single one of his, and I forget sometimes. But yeah, I'm currently 3 hours in on Ben O'Brien. So he was a hunter. He is a hunter. It really makes me. Ever since I listened to Joe Rogan, I just want to become a hunter. I'd die really quickly because I'm literally a stick figure.
I mean, how would you die?
Because I'm unfit. I'm not strong, and I can't use a gun.
I mean, I think only the last one would be a reason why I would die, because you don't know how to use a gun, so you'd kill yourself. accident.
What, like, not...
Let's not. But other than that, I mean, I don't think you need to be super physically fit to be. Not really.
Every time that I've listened to Joe Rogan, every single hunter he's had on, it's like, you have to be like super fit to do it. I don't know why.
Don't old men like with like giant beer bellies do it?
Yeah, but that's not... No, he's talking about hunting as in like you're literally on foot with a gun, like a pistol or a bow and arrow or something like that. Hunting.
No, that was like very specific.
So
I don't like sport hunting. I think it's unnecessary.
I think I
mean, when my granddad used to hunt, he stopped quite a few years ago because of reasons. Whatever he caught, my family wouldn't eat. I didn't because I didn't like it, but that's
the only thing that's the only way I justify it. If you're killing for food, not a problem at all. If you're killing just for the kick of it, or you're hunting like an endangered species, or you're trying to like kill a rhino for their horn or something, that's really, really, really bad, and you should stop. If you're going out there to hunt for food, not a problem. Crack on. As long as you're legally allowed to, crack on. But if you're going out there to kill like a lion for meat or something, like they're an endangered species, please stop. You're not allowed to.
No.
But yeah, so Joe Rogan, he, I'm trying to figure out where I was because I was bringing up to a point. God damn it, Rita, you've just made me lose.
How is this my fault? You're the one that lost track of it. Because we were talking about something, and then you mentioned something, and I said we're great podcast hosts, and then you mentioned Joe Rogan's a great podcast.
Yeah, so talking about,
and then I said he's overrated, and then we went back to the place where what the fuck are we talking about?
Okay, so talking about Joe Rogan, so in terms of podcast hosts, he had that guy on there, the hunter.
Yes.
And I would say at least 50% of the time, he's just talking about weed. He's talking about UFC. He's talking about...
That's all he talks about. Didn't Dana White, UFC something, call him a punk, basically? Or like said he would beat him up?
I don't know.
Did I dream that? Did I hallucinate that?
Probably not. But he has when he does his podcast, he might interview people, and I would say on average 50 to 60% of the time they're not talking about the topic, unless he's bringing on someone to talk about. When he does his MMA shows, he tends to keep on track very often because he's so into it, he cannot distract himself. Like if we had a podcast about Doctor Who, you would never distract me.
Challenge accepted.
I'll take you up on that.
No. Let's not.
But when he's talking about that, he doesn't talk about the if he brings someone on to talk about COVID, for example, like a doctor to talk about COVID, he's really into health and fitness, and he's really into and then the guest is obviously an expert, so he will stay on track a lot of the time. But when you have like comedians and stuff like that he has on, if they come on to talk about like comedy, they'll talk about that for about 30-40% of the time. The rest of the time they're just talking about complete waffle, and it's so good. I love it. I love when I listen to podcasts like those conspiracy guys, 7-hour podcasts about aliens. They bring up one thing about aliens and they've got half an hour of waffle. It's great.
I guess
it's the best thing because at least you get to know people how they actually think.
Well, if people listen to us, they think we have nothing for brains. We have waffle for brains.
I mean, isn't that true?
I will not answer that. No comment.
I'm trying to give you a shovel to dig yourself a hole.
No comment. I do not dig with shovels. I shovel with my own shovels. Hands. Shovel hands.
So do you remember how you, just a few seconds ago you said we don't have waffle for brains?
Yes. No, I said we have waffle for brains. You said we didn't have waffle for brains.
That's how much of a waffle I have for a brain. I didn't even listen. I couldn't even hear what you said.
Exactly.
But that's good though. But yeah, I don't know. Like last week's podcast, we managed to actually stay on topic for about an hour and a half. That was really good.
Did we stay on topic?
Honestly, I counted. The moment we started going off topic, it was about 1 hour and 34 minutes, and we started talking about COVID for about 20 minutes, and then we ended it because you had to go to work. No, it wasn't for work. It was going to catch a bus.
Yes, that's true.
And then the week before, we got off topic within like three seconds, and then we had to finish like an hour early because you had to go to work.
That's true.
And today you don't have to catch a bus or go to work.
I don't. But we should end the podcast because it's getting on to 2 hours.
But
it's getting super long.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I in terms of like obscure hobbies.
You have one.
I have many obscure hobbies. I have so many interests. It's ridiculous. I can't keep focused. That's why I need these fucking energy drinks. Cause my brain is honestly, I don't know what it is. My brain is going through things at 1,000 miles a minute. I'm thinking about 15 things right now.
Maybe you have ADHD.
I don't. I think I do. I can't
diagnosed?
Sit. Fuck no. I honestly.
You should probably check it.
When
just for curiosity's sake.
When I'm at whenever I'm driving, I'm listening to a podcast. Whenever I'm walking anywhere, I'm listening to a podcast. I get up in the morning and then I put a podcast on because I can't listen to myself think because I'm going.
No, but that's the thing. I also have constant noise.
Not that.
I do not like
it's distract my brain because my brain starts doing like 1,000 miles an hour and talking about things. That's why I can talk like this.
I like stuff like playing in the background. Even if it's just music or like a show or some random YouTube.
Or Grey's Anatomy episode number 55.
Excuse me.
For the 150th time.
Excuse me. Episode number 55 would be in the middle of season 3. So yes, that would be great.
So that's...
Actually, no. Season 3?
Rita, let's discuss your hobbies.
Might have been... No. Might be the beginning of season 4, actually.
Why Grey's Anatomy?
Because it's the best show ever.
Why?
Do not ever ask me why Grey's Anatomy.
Why? What got you into it?
My mother used to watch it, and I would fall asleep to it in the couch.
That's a very good advertisement for a very good show that it's so good you fell asleep for it.
No, but this was I was 8 years old. And then my mom stopped watching it and I got into it on my own, so I would pirate the episodes to watch them.
So because your mum lost interest, you're like...
No, she this channel that used to play it stopped playing it because they went to a cable channel and we didn't have cable until 2015, something like that. So, well, still 2014.
So you weren't an early adopter like me?
No.
We were the first people on the street to get a Sky Dish.
No,
we're 2003 Sky Sports. Go.
We only had the public channels till 2013, 14, and then we got cable, which was called Mel.
What?
Mel.
Mail.
Mel. MEO. Mel.
Meow.
Mel.
Mew.
Mel.
It's like Mew, but Mew.
Kind of. And that's when we got proper Wi-Fi and cable. And then...
What the fuck were you doing before? How did you get to them on the internet? Did you just have a computer in a corner with the internet? Or didn't have no internet?
We had... What do we have? Do we have mobile broadband? Maybe. I don't remember.
Fucking hell, sounds like...
It was really bad internet. Really bad.
It sounds like you were in the Stone Age.
Almost. I mean, to be fair, we didn't live in town center, as you know. So everything... So, proper internet took a while to get there. Even fiber a few years ago took a while to get there. Because, center first and then outskirts of the city. But yeah, I don't remember, but we didn't have, proper internet until then. And the cable, the channels, TV channels, only had the 4 public ones.
It sounds like you lived in poverty.
We didn't.
I know.
We have a very average middle class at home.
It just seems weird because from around my area, we got broadband very, very quickly. Where I lived was one of the first parts of our town to get it, and that was 2007.
I mean, I might be.
We got Wi-Fi. We got Wi-Fi around about the same time. We got my area now has got 500 meg down. I think we're getting a gigabyte soon, which is just way too much. Who the fuck needs a gig download?
Maybe it wasn't that late. I might be thinking wrong. Was my brother still alive when I...
Well, 2013. That literally was like 8 years ago. 7.
I don't know now.
What was the first thing you did on the internet?
I don't know. Probably watch YouTube.
If you watch YouTube, it's got to be post 2008.
Because my brother, I don't think when we got cable, I don't think my brother was alive. So it was after 2008. Maybe it was like 2011. Close to 2011 then.
And the first thing you did was watch...
I don't remember the first thing I watched. I do remember I used to do a lot of pirating, getting torrents. I did it for I got all of the Disney movies. I got a bunch of Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, but that's because you lived in Portugal. That's a little bit different.
Iron Man movies.
Do you remember that time when it was it was in between where YouTube was a thing? Streaming services BBC iPlayer was quite early, but you had these streaming services just coming in, but had nothing on it.
I was already here in the UK when Netflix came to Portugal.
Yeah, but remember that time when it was streaming services were the thing. Everyone kind of watched streaming stuff, but the big companies like Disney and so on were not on any streaming services. So everyone wanted to watch it now. Yeah. No one wanted to buy the DVDs. And everyone was on Pirate Bay just downloading dodgy links to get I don't know, Toy Story 1 on DVD. On Pirate Bay. I
used to download illegally a lot of movies.
Everyone was doing it. I think it got to a point where, well, no, before then, this would be car boot sales in the UK. Car boot sales is there
was fake, shitty DVDs of the films.
Yeah, so in the UK, car boot sale is essentially you fill your car up full of all your random shit. This is what it's supposed to be for, full of random shit that you have in your loft or in your garage or whatnot. You put it in the back of your car, you go to a field, you open your boot up, you put it's usually a painter's table or a wallpaper table there, and you put all your stuff in the cell, sells it off really cheap, and people go there on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Buy stuff that they never use, buy chips that probably going to give you some sort of weird disease because it's probably got the same fat from 15 years ago. So you would go there and do this. And then over time, it kind of developed into people just going there to buy dodgy DVDs. And they were always those thin DVD cases with really terrible printed...
Yeah, very faded.
Sleeve.
Yeah.
And inside there'll be a white DVD with Shaun of the Dead 2004 underlined.
I remember owning some of them that did not work at all.
And you'd get them home and you'd be crossing your fingers good quality, good quality, good quality, good quality, and you'd put it in there, and you'd hear the music start, and you go, oh no, and then it starts, and it's kind of crooked because someone filmed in a cinema, and in you see people still sitting down in the cinema.
Yeah, I remember having a couple they just did not work at all.
Do you know what I remember as well? People, it started having competition. You had competition in the dodgy DVD market, and people would start on the DVDs putting A+ or DVD rip cam or good quality bad sound or people moving. And then these places at these fields and these a lot of them were old aircraft runways that got abandoned, and so they do these every weekend. The event organisers having to put security around there because police started getting involved, and so they stopped doing it. And what would happen is, I just want to say, for one, we have never pirated anything, so It was just what we've noticed.
Sure.
So you would notice where people would go, would have all their dodgy DVDs on there, clock the security come round, throw over a piece of cloth, and then put some like car radios on top. And I saw it so many times. And everyone that would be stood there would all kind of shuffle away, kind of looking around at like clothing next door and waiting for them to go by. I'll have Slumdog Millionaire. I'll have Harry Potter. And what are you doing? 3 for tenner. All right. What have you got? You got World's End as well. Yeah, but it's only cam quality, mate. Okay, I'll leave it. You got any DVD rip stuff? Yeah, got all this. And then you'd sell them all, and then you'd watch them, and then you'd give it to your mate, and your mate you'd give it to your mate, and mate to give it to a mate, and then everyone just ended up with all these dodgy DVDs everywhere.
Yeah. And
then they started getting really clever. So what they did was, a lot of people started getting caught out and got banned from going there. So these people would go around in the car parks, literally with like, do you know one of those DVD cases that you buy? You just go, people would go along there, especially the ones near fields, because people would often have to park somewhere else. Alright, mate, looking for DVDs? Yeah. Cool. What do you want? And they'd sell them in the car parks. And then there would always be some Chinese guy. Always. And this is not racist, not at all. I'm telling you, from the time that I've noticed, there's always one Chinese guy that be going around selling them.
What do you mean Asian?
No, he was Chinese.
Did you ask him about his ethnicity?
Yes.
Okay then.
Well, all his DVD covers that he would do would be printed out in Chinese. So I'm just making assumptions.
Well, Chinese is our language. It's either Mandarin or Cantonese, I think.
I'm British, I'm ignorant. If it ain't English, it ain't right.
I think so. I think there's like Cantonese and Mandarin. Technically, Chinese is not in the language, I think.
The irony is...
Or it's not how their language is called, technically.
No, but the irony is anyone that speaks English is like, we're the proper language, we're the most dominant, and like, last in Mandarin, where most people's, like 1 over a billion people speak it.
Well, yes. It's also very complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Hard to learn. One time I was on a train to Lisbon, and some guy just like, he was like an older guy, and I needed help with his laptop or whatever, so I helped him like open something on the laptop. And he was like, "No, you should learn Mandarin. That's the future." And
yeah,
he was right. It was like, "Okay, old man, please stay away from me now. I've helped you. Let's not talk anymore."
Rita, what is it with you and old men?
I don't know. He wasn't creepy or anything. Just like unwanted advice out of the sudden. Like, cool, I guess.
I think that's a hobby that I think most people should take up. Learn a bloody language. Learn Mandarin.
Yeah, I mean, we're all going to be speaking it in a few hundred years when
we're not.
We're conquered by aliens.
No, it's not.
That also speak Mandarin for some reason.
Okay. My prediction for the future is we're all going to get connected to some sort of metaverse and not.
Oh Jesus!
No, I think we are. We're all going to get connected to some sort of weird metaverse.
Or language will cease to exist.
Language. Everyone can speak whatever they want, and it will all just get translated, and no one will care.
Well, it's like the little things that they have on Star Wars, and like Star-Lord has like a universal translator implemented in your ear.
What do you think in the future? What's going to happen? Tell me,
We're all going
Rita.
To die.
No, tell me how the future is.
We're all going to die. That's what the future is.
Yes, Rita,
I'm very
I hate
optimistic.
to say this, but you are right. We are all going to die.
We are going to die.
But what's going to happen between now and then?
We're going to find more ways to kill each other.
God, you're optimistic.
Thank you. I think so too.
Rita, I'm trying my best. Be positive.
I can't.
We're going to find a cure to cancer. We're going to fix the climate.
Well, probably. We're going to find cures to different types of cancer, but also going to kill each other in the process.
No, what's going to happen is we're going to find a cure to cancers, America's going to copyright it and it's going to cost £50 million per dose.
And then we're all going to kill America.
No.
Not the people, just the continent.
How do you kill a continent without killing people, Rita?
I don't know.
How the fuck is that going to work?
We'll figure it out.
Explain.
We'll figure it out. Let's put them in spaceships to the moon.
What, we're going to put in Elon Musk SpaceX? We're going to ship them all to the fucking moon, to Mars.
And then
you have a Starbucks every single... you're going to end up having the first thing on bloody the Mars is a bloody Starbucks and a Walmart and a pharmaceutical company that literally costs like 50 million space bucks.
That sells oxygen at a rate that people cannot buy.
That's a Doctor Who episode.
That is also Lorax from Dr. Seuss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a Doctor Who episode called Oxygen. And
can I be honest?
Yeah.
I don't care. About the Doctor Who episode.
No. What you said is exactly you predicted you predicted the episode.
When did it come out?
2015, 2016.
Yeah, it's the Lorax thing from like Dr. Seuss. Let me wait.
I'll explain what is in this episode anyway. So essentially they got put on a space station and you basically are renting, you get your suit and you have to pay for your oxygen and everyone goes mental because they've run out of oxygen. But yeah,
came out in 1971.
Yeah, they probably have done it before, 100%.
Plot. So a young boy lives in the Pluto area, visits a strange man called the
That's Rita's hobby.
On the street of the lifted Lorax. Blah blah blah. So trees used to exist, but the monster cut them down to make shit. And he basically ran out of all of the trees, so everything's polluted now. And someone sells oxygen. That might have been the film. Yeah, but the Lorax did it. Dr. Seuss did it. 1971.
Yeah, whatever. That's the thing. Whatever story you think whatever story you think is unique has already been done.
Well, if you break it down to the most basic points, yes.
Yeah. So, what do you think? How on earth did we get here?
I don't know, but I'm blaming you.
Excuse me?
Yes. I'm looking at Christmas jumpers.
Is that your hobby?
Anyway, my hobby, yes. I buy a Christmas jumper every year.
And lumberjack shirts.
Sure. If you say so.
And why have you got Dungeons and Dragons on your beanie?
What? No, it's Daredevil.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Daredevil. It's Daredevil.
Dungeons and Dragons actually is a very nerdy...
Yeah, but it's a Daredevil thing, not the Dungeons and Dragons.
Imagine... The funny thing is, I genuinely thought that Magic Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons was super nerdy, super uninteresting, and only for fat nerds who kind of, stare at Rule 34 all day. Until I played Magic and I went, I get it now.
Magic is fun.
Magic is very fun.
You know what else is fun? Pokemon. You know what else is fun? Food. You know what else is fun? I'm hungry. You know what else is fun? We should end the episode. We've been going on for too long.
But I reckon we should get to at least 2 hours.
Why? It's so long.
Yeah, but if we go to 2 hours...
Yes. Is that it? We're going to be silent until we hit 2 hours? I mean, we only have 1 minute and 50 seconds till we hit 2 hours. Do we want to be silent?
No, we can discuss why we need to get to 2 hours.
Well, why do we need to get to 2 hours, Mitchell?
Because it looks better than having 1 hour and something minutes.
No, I would disagree. And that's it. We're going to keep talking till it hits 2 hours then.
Yes.
By promoting our...
To be fair, where do you need to actually go for food?
I don't know, I'm hungry.
Are you going to get food out or are you going to...
I could get food out. I could
What do you want to do, Rita? What do you want, Rita?
I don't know. Do you want to go out for food again? We've had breakfast already.
I have a big breakfast so I can skip lunch.
I mean, that sounds
unhealthy.
Not really. I mean, isn't that the new diet, like fasting, like you eat like in the morning and only eat 12 hours later? I feel like it's the thing. Yeah,
that sounds all good until you realise I'm down in a kind of Rockstar Punch and my left leg feels cold.
Only your left leg?
Yeah.
That is weird.
No, I got bad blood flow. You can tell by my fingers.
Sure. Let's promote our other stuff then. This is a great ending. You can totally see how we're great closers.
Well, to be fair. Energy drinks are good for you.
I mean, anything in moderation is fine.
Yeah, but what happens if you kill people in moderation?
I would say that's fine because it's the moderation.
Okay, so we've just realised. So, Rita, do you wish to elaborate on that?
No. So,
Rita's a murderer. Also, this is the ending.
I've said to you several times that as a kid I wanted to be an assassin. Moving on. I also have another YouTube channel. There used to be the old DinoPod channel, but then when anyone abandoned it except me, and I took it over.
So you wanted to be
I stole it.
No, you wanted to be a James Bond reject.
No, I wanted to be an assassin, not a James Bond reject. What does that have to do with James Bond?
Because James Bond is like secret and cool.
No, I just wanted to be an assassin, like a ninja type of thing. Assassin.
You watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, didn't you?
I did watch it as a kid.
I thought so. Yes. Yeah, but the thing is, that's where the pizza.
Cool. I do have another YouTube channel called Lego and Stuff. Don't make fun of the name, Mitchell.
Lego and Stuff. Where
I build Legos and I talk about stuff. And you can follow Mitchell's Facebook page of Doctor Who locations.
Yeah, follow my Doctor Who locations if you're interested in Doctor Who. I reckon it's actually a good thing to look at because it's very, very in depth and it's something that I'm going to be doing for the next 10 years, I would say. It's called, so there's on Facebook there is 2 Doctor Who locations. There's Doctor Who Locations, who runs a Doctor Who Locations website.
Yes.
Which is kind of more of a hive mind. And then there's mine, it's called Doctor Who Locations, which just has the DW logo.
Yes.
So that's my one. I upload at least once a week. And when I go on when I do massive tours, I upload hundreds of pictures.
I'm very sporadic about when I upload because I don't like writing, but I have to write the narrations for my videos. So that takes me a while.
Have you not mastered the art of the what's the bloody word?
Bullshitting?
No, well, kind of the improvisation.
No, I have not mastered it.
I can.
Also, I've got to be waiting on my new monitor, and it has not shown up. Thanks, Argos.
No, thanks, stock shortage.
Still, Argos could be like, yeah, we'll get it's free to collect at the 18th. It's been 5 days. Nothing. Actually, no, it's been a week. Nothing.
Rita.
Son of a bitch.
You said it's been the 18th and it's been 5 days. It's the 25th.
I realized, I realized afterwards that it's actually the 25th.
Your maths is terrible, and so is mine.
No, I just didn't realize we were on the 25th already. Shut up. Anyway, with that, we shall end this episode about hobbies and also other stuff.
Which is why...
That has nothing to do with hobbies.
Yeah, but these are the best podcasts, though. These are the podcasts I enjoy doing. I like just chatting random shit, having a topic, and then just going... Literally having
here's some garbage.
No, garbage. No, having being on a track on a railway, right? And you're driving along the path of Hobbies.
And you get hit by a train?
No, is that someone one of us just has a lever and says, "Fuck it, we're going here," and we just go, and then we just don't ever get back on the track.
Okay, with that,
I just want
metaphor.
On that beautiful metaphor of
things and trains,
and stuff.
We shall end this episode of the DinoPod podcast.
And stuff.
Next episode will be something different that we have not chosen yet. So stay tuned for that.
all I can confirm, it'll be about stuff.
There will be stuff in it. We'll be talking about something.
And probably Lego somewhere in it.
And yes. So, goodbye then. Until next week. Say bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.